I watched your documentary. I've been following the Mutiny on the Bounty story, and it all led me to Pitcairn, right?
Yeah.
Take Me to Pitcairn. You took me to Pitcairn in the documentary.
Well, I'm glad I could be of service. Yeah.
But after I started investigating the island and reading more about it, it got a little disturbing, right?
Yeah.
And
It's a pretty fucked up place.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
This is the very same line I used in the show. Yeah, it's Pitcairn. It's a fucked up place.
Oh, right.
So before we get into that, Jules, what inspired you? Because I know you're an educated guy. You would have known about the place you're going to. What inspired you to even go there in the first place?
Well, I'm pretty similar to you and to all the other people who were on the trip that I went on. It started when I was about 15, and I saw that film, The Bounty, with Mel Gibson and Anthony Hopkins. It was I just thought to myself, wow, yeah, that's amazing. It's like got sun, sea, adventure, survival, beautiful women, amazing sort of island. Paradise, big shirts. What was there not to like? I just thought it was just seemed like a properly adventurous, enigmatic place. And I've always, I don't know, there seems to be some mystique around it. Everyone who sees that story or reads about it just thinks, gosh, what a weird place. I'd love to go and find out what it's actually like there, because it's quite difficult these days to go to places which haven't been. I was saying how Pitcairn doesn't even have an airport, and it's pretty remote. I mean, and the fact that 50 people live there and are all related to these sailors, but quite a lot of them are related to the sailors from 200 years previous. I mean, it's just remarkable. I mean, it's hard to believe that they live there, and they. So yeah, that's what inspired me. I'll tell you what else inspired me actually. Is I was watching a TV show here. I've always wanted to be on TV. I wanted to do TV documentaries. I wanted to be a presenter basically. And the older I got, the more it was looking like I wasn't going to get anywhere. And I just thought to myself, okay, the last straw was when I saw this bloke doing some travel shows. I'm not going to say who it is. But I was watching him. He was on the BBC, and I just thought, God, you're rubbish. I could not believe how rubbish it was, and I thought to myself, well, you know what? I'm just going to go and do one on my own, and show that this can actually be, me with a crappy little camcorder as well, never having done it before. And I ended up having to edit the thing myself. I didn't know what I was doing, but people like it, and yeah. Yeah, I was just annoyed that no one would, take me seriously, and I thought I better go out and do something with my life. Otherwise, I'll just be stuck selling kites on a bridge for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Julesy here, he sells miniature kites for a living, right?
Yeah, yes, mini kites. I'll show you one if you like.
Sure.
There you go. I'll show you a special edition one.
You're watching The Russell Scott Show. We're here with Julian McDonnell, the star and director of Take Me to Pitcairn.
Of Take Me to Pitcairn. You still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, this is one of my kites. Now, this particular one is a.
Oh, look, and it's even got a picture of Jules on there.
Yeah. This is a special edition Jules guides, because I also do mini videos about London, 2-minute long.
Yeah.
There's the Jules guides amazing logo. Watch out for that logo.
So how much does how much did that package there cost?
Well, I sell them for £3. I stand well, I'm a peddler. Yeah. I can go wherever I want. But anyway, yeah, I do that just, because I'm an actor or whatever, and I have to try and make a bit of extra money here and there. But anyway, I didn't want to keep doing that, and I wanted to go and make films. So I didn't really want to be the filmmaker. I wanted just to be the presenter. But it turned out, the only way to do it was to do it myself and to edit it myself. I mean, when I was out there, I met a guy called Morris who was really helpful. So he helped quite a lot with it in the end.
Would you do it again if you?
Which I think.
Would you do it over again if you could do it?
Well, no, no, probably not. Not that particular trip. I mean, if I knew what I didn't enjoy it at all. I mean, I had a terrible time.
Are you
I had
serious?
a tough time because I'd been on that boat. Well, I'd been on the boat with the captain before, and I didn't go on with him, and yeah, it was quite hard work. I mean, I'm all right with him now, but at the time, he thought I was an idiot. He didn't realise why I was there. It's like he thought I was just there to be a deckhand and help on the boat, and I was there to make a film. And the other guy who had commissioned the boat in the first place hadn't told him, and yeah, I wasn't paying for the boat trip because that part was a special deal between me and this guy who chartered it. So it was all a bit of a, yeah. I mean, no, of course, I mean, it's one of those things I enjoyed afterwards. But by the time the Pitcairn trip came, because I did it in two sections. I went to Phoenix Islands first, and then I went to Stopped for a while in Sydney, and then I went back on the boat again. And I was dreading getting back onto it. And then we had all that nightmare, and the boat didn't seem very safe as well. So I was we were all pretty scared and upset. And there was a lot of arguing. I mean, we were all arguing. I made it look quite lighthearted in the film, but everyone there was pretty angry and upset. And by the time I got there, I did honestly think I was going to die. So I was just so relieved, and I just thought, oh, I just want to go. I just want to go home.
Being the way you are.
Yeah, why are you being the way you
I'm
are?
the way I am.
Yeah.
I don't like going in big packs. I'm independent. I do my own thing.
Can I say we're sorry and start again?
Why can't you quiet?
I was supposed to go to Pitcairn. It's not going to happen. I'll have my own holiday on this island the way I
You
want.
see, you don't want to.
Oh,
You're
you
always
want to.
you good. If that's the way you want to be.
Make it pressure.
Did you think that? Okay, I make a pleasure.
He's trying to open up
I'm
to
trying
you.
to say sorry if that's the way you were.
He's trying to be nice.
For the audience, you have to watch Take Me to Pitcairn. Just YouTube it. It's on there. It has hundreds of thousands of hits.
Yeah, it does actually. You're right, and I might even have one moment. Yeah, you see,
Oh,
I've even got a DVD of the. I've even got a DVD. Take Me to Pitcairn. There it is.
oh, look at that. That looks spectacular.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing about the film. It's basically, it's centered around the journey to Pitcairn, these struggles that you endured to getting to the island itself, right?
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
You did spend some time in the film being on Pitcairn, but I'd say it was somewhat abbreviated.
Yeah, the problem with being on Pitcairn was that the people there, as you probably learnt from looking into it, aren't all that happy to. They aren't so pleased with journalists or people. I mean, it was a miracle they let me film at all. I had to beg them. I had to do a bit of a kind of Hugh Grant sort of bumbling. I'm terribly sorry. Oh gosh, do you mind if I film this? Oh, it's be awfully fun, wouldn't it? So I sort of turned into Hugh Laurie for a moment whilst I was trying to get them to let me film, because I mean, Ben Fogle went over there, who's a famous BBC presenter, travel presenter. I rather like him actually. I met him, and he tried to get there, and they kicked him off because they heard he was from the BBC, and because they had a lot of bad press from the BBC during these trials they had over there, then they weren't happy, and so I was quite lucky to be able to film. A few people have filmed there since, but when I went there wasn't really any good footage of the place or the people on it. So I was quite flattered really in the end.
What were your...
And Ben Fogle, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say Ben Fogle actually came up to me when I was selling kites one day, and he said to me, "Oh, I saw your film, by the way, about Pitcairn. I really enjoyed it." So I thought it was really nice of him, because he watched it on an airplane, because it had actually been shown on Air Tahiti flights. My film, it was on the in-flight entertainment because it was in the Tahiti Film Festival. So yeah, no, it was quite nice.
What were your expectations of the Islanders before you got there?
Well, yeah. Funnily enough, I hadn't been led to expect much. I mean, I'd been told that they can be a bit difficult, and so I was actually expecting them to be less accommodating. But in actual fact, I found them to be pretty friendly. They were suspicious. They were definitely a few of them were definitely suspicious, and some were more friendly than others. But by and large, they they seemed all right to me. You know, I didn't find that all of them were my type of person, but yeah. But you know, the thing is that a lot of them they'd spent a lot of time off the island, so they'd a lot of them go to New Zealand and stuff, and a lot of the younger people. One of the problems on the island is that a lot of the young people go and study abroad, like mostly New Zealand, and before returning when they're a bit older. So I don't know. I guess that could be some reason there. So a lot of the men there, a lot of people find it difficult to find a date, I suppose. But yeah, it must be weird. I mean, it must be difficult with so few people there. But the funny thing is that they do, by and large, seem to want to return there. I would go pretty crazy out there if I was on my own. Although they do have internet there and TV, so I suppose it's just what you're used to. I guess that it's home for them, and so they feel the need to get back there. Island people.
Yeah, in the movie Take Me to Pitcairn, there's a point where you say, you know, I'd kind of like to get going now. You know, I've done the tourist stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a small place. I mean,
how long did it take to do the tourist? You know, how long was the tourist thing? 2 hours, 3 hours?
Well, I was there for 4 days, right? And wow. for me, that was plenty. And to be honest, I think that for them, that's plenty. I mean, I don't think they seem fairly non-fussed. They don't particularly want you to stay around for ages or anything. You know, I think that it's hard to get there and for a visit anyway, because if you go on I don't know about there is a boat that does trips there actually, but called the Bounty Bay, is it? Oh no, that was
Claymore.
The Claymore, yeah, and I think that, but it is quite pricey to get on that, and you know it costs a lot of money to get to the point at which you have to take the boat as well. So, you know, if you take a cruise, you won't get onto the island. You'll just stop nearby, and they'll come out and see you, because you can't. It's really rough landing. So 4 days on the island. I mean, that was really plenty for me. I was. They got big spiders as well, really big spiders. And I just thought to myself, you know, there's not a great deal to do. I mean, you know, you're staying with some people. I mean, the guy I was staying with, Terry Young, is related to one of the mutineers. He died, unfortunately, so he's dead now. But I mean, 4 days. It's this really tiny island. I mean, you can go and climb up to Christian's
They all
Cave,
seem
which I
really
failed
fat,
to do,
you know?
Yeah. I mean, they are rather.
It's like birds that have been on an island too long that lose their ability to fly. You know, something has happened to these people. They have no predators, so they just fatten right up like the guys on the Wall-E ship. You know.
A lot of them are overweight. I'll give you that. I think it's probably the diet. I mean, they get a lot of stuff imported. I think these ships drop off stuff, and I mean, whilst they are self-sufficient to a certain degree, I think there's only so much you can do on an island like that. So they've probably got a lot of tinned food, a lot of, you know, I don't know. Imagine bad food, or they probably fry. I mean, I don't know. They fry that breadfruit plant. That's going to make it. But you know, Polynesians are given to being rather large, so a few of them will have Polynesian blood. I mean, if you go to Samoa or any of those places, Tahiti, the people are, you know, they're quite big. You only have to look at the rugby teams from Samoa, and they're big people. So yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. They're big lads.
But it should be like the perfect diet, because they have this awesome, beautiful reef there where the fish must be just amazing for you. I mean, talk about organic fish, right? You know, you get the best stuff in the world. Yeah, exactly. Breadfruit. I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah, I don't think they. Yeah, exactly. I think it's more healthy just to live by the seaside in the Mediterranean. I mean, I think that there must be something that they're lacking, and they probably get a lot of stuff delivered with these ships that come around once every sort of 3 months or so. And I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know, I was watching a documentary.
I'm no doctor.
Yeah, I didn't think you were.
Sorry, you were saying.
You made me lose my place now.
You know, I mean, especially most people who go there would have an interest in the bounty. If you're not interested in the history of the bounty, then there's even less to see, really.
Well, you know, that whole bounty story is, you know, protecting these people, because without the bounty story, you're right. Why the fuck would you go there? And if nobody goes there, then, you know, they really have no way of sustaining themselves.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they rely on tourism. I mean, I think they're subsidized by the UK, because like they are an overseas territory. So yeah,
they're subsidized to the tune of £3 million per year.
Are they? Oh, did you look that up?
Yep.
Oh, right.
And
wow.
the European Union has sent them 5 million euros over the past few years as well. So there's only 42 people living there now.
I wonder how they'll cope once after Brexit then. That might have an impact. Yeah,
well, I mean, as a person, you know, you're obviously you live in London, right? You're a taxpayer, maybe.
Yeah.
And you know, what do you think about your tax dollars now that you've been to this island, pumping that kind of money for 42 people?
Yeah, it's well, you know, I'm all for things like that, because I think that I love history, and I like you know, to preserve these sorts of weird and wonderful places.
What about taking the people off the island, relocating them, and reclaiming it a UNESCO World Heritage Site, as they did with UNO Henderson and Ducey?
What you propose actually remove the people who live there and put them somewhere else?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know. I'd feel quite strongly about it if I lived there. I think. I mean, I'd be pretty upset. So on their behalf, yeah, I would. I don't think that's a very nice thing to do. But I mean, that's where they live. I mean, I suspect they could be self-sufficient. I mean, I think they kind of want to be. I didn't sense a lot of love for the UK when I was over there. I think that they feel closer to New Zealand. I'm not quite sure the politics of it. I remember someone being there, sort of grumbling about Britain and stuff. But no, I can see your point. I mean, yeah, that is a lot of money to be spending on a tiny place with 40 nights. And you know, when I was there, it was 49, so they seem to be dropping like flies. It's a pity. But you know, an interesting thing about Pitcairn that I read is that they have the best eyesight in the world. The lowest case of myopia of every place in the world. They have the fewest cases of myopia. All that staring out to sea looking for shit.
Like Fletcher Christian sitting up there in the cave, peering out, paranoid, looking for the Admiralty.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, constantly, you know, crapping himself. Yeah.
Did you have to?
It's a bit like that with me, actually.
Were you pressured to buy any of the souvenirs when you're on the island? Did you?
No,
buy a
they
shirt
didn't
or
seem,
anything?
not at all. No. I think they gave me one, actually. I can't remember. Did they give me one? No, I didn't feel like they were pressurizing me. No, there was none of that. There was I mean, we did pay. I mean, I had to pay for the accommodation, and yeah, I mean,
which seems pretty expensive. I think $100, $150 a night.
Yeah, I guess it was something. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was. I think I paid something like 200 New Zealand dollars. Was it? So I was there for 4 days or something. I can't remember. They prefer dollars. They prefer New Zealand dollars. Or US dollars. They seem to prefer, actually, for some reason. Not sure why. I think officially the New Zealand dollar is their currency. So I showed up with all these New Zealand dollars, and they only wanted American dollars.
Maybe it's easier for them to trade with all the cruise ships that come by.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, look, it is a fascinating place. I mean, it's fascinating. You definitely feel the history when you're there.
Well, let me ask you
this. I sat down there where they. Yeah.
Let's say you got a buddy, right? And money is no object. And he says, "Hey, Jules, should I go to Pitcairn?" What do you tell him?
Well, I'd probably say no. I mean, it's the sort of place that you. I mean, well, really, if you've I wouldn't really, to be honest, I wouldn't go unless you have a real interest in it, because there's not much to do, and it's a long old way to travel. I mean, the guy that was with me, he was going for the diving. I mean, he wanted to go diving there. I mean, I think it is a protected area for if you're into scuba diving, definitely, because it's what's it called? A protected area, or a marine protected area.
Well, they've just opened the world's largest marine reserve there. Just happened.
Right, there you are.
Last week.
Oh, right. So it just goes to show. So it's a great place to go scuba diving, because you get some really interesting
like this
fish.
concern of fishing over there, because they thought, if the fishing ever comes, it would absolutely destroy the stocks overnight. So it's all been protected, Julian. This just came in last week.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear it, because I'm glad about that. I mean, there's also that in the Phoenix Islands, which is where I also went on the same trip. I forget what. Yeah, it's on these marine protected areas. So I mean, what's it called? Biosecurity. It's quite a big thing there. You have to sort of fill out a form about whether you've got a cold or flu, before you land and stuff like that. And they're worried about if any rats or anything get onto the island, then there's trouble. So they start killing all the birds' eggs and stuff. So but yeah, I mean, for anyone who's interested in bird watching or scuba diving or history, then it's a great place to go. But if you're going there hoping to see a beautiful paradise-like island, then no, I probably wouldn't really suggest going there, just on the grounds that I mean, I suppose you said money is no object. It depends how you're going to get there. If you're going to sail there yourself and just drop by, then
time is always an object. So it's relative to what it's worth. Is it worth your time going there? If money wasn't an object.
Yeah, I mean, look, put it this way. I don't think you're going to go there and have a great time. I don't think you're going to go, whoa, yeah, this is great. Let's have a blast. Let's have a party. There's hardly anybody lives there. I mean, you're going to be on your own most of the time. You can talk to a few of the people there, and they'll probably be polite to you and nice enough. But it's not like you can go down the pub and meet some chicks and sort of like to carry out. Do you know what I mean? When you go away somewhere, at least if you go to, I mean, even the Cook Islands or the Tahiti or somewhere, they've got some stuff to go see. I mean, because I don't know. I mean, some people are into being really remote and being on their own, but if you're on your own, you're not really on your own there. If you want to be on your own, just go somewhere where there isn't anybody at all. You could go to one of the other atolls where no one resides. But no, I'm not trying to put people off going there. I mean, by all means, go visit. I mean, I thought it was fascinating. I'm really pleased. I will always remember that I went there, and the time that it's just, for me, it meant a lot, and for the people I was with, it meant a lot to all of us. We were just. I mean, just to stand in the same spot where they burnt the bounty, it's just incredible to me. For me, it's amazing that there was a place where, there was a time when that guy, the last one, what was he called? John Adams. He was the final one, and no one knew where these bounty mutineers had ended up, and then this American ship came by, and the captain or whatever saw this brown kid sort of come out to him on a canoe and talk to him in English, and he said, "What the hell are you doing talking to me in English all the way out here 200 years ago?"
Wow.
And it turned out that it was Fletcher Christian's son, and he went ashore, and there you go. He found that there was only one man left on the island, and he had something like 8 wives and 23 kids, and for me, that just to stand in the spot where he saw that, and to stand in the spot where they watched the bounty burn, it's just, I don't know, I find those things really fascinating, because I'm into that sort of stuff. But if you're not into that, then all you're going to see is
are there any relics on the island of the bounty?
Well, yes, There are, yeah. There's the Bounty's anchor is there. They've got the anchor. They've got a bell, I think, which was from the Bounty. I think a few of the islanders have got some souvenirs in their house. You know, plenty of nails from the Bounty, bits and pieces. I think the Bible. Oh, that's it. Yeah, but they've got a museum on the island. You know, with mostly stuff from the Bounty on it. In it. So there's the Bible that was on board, which was used to teach everybody to read. I think he used it to learn to read himself, actually, and he taught the kids and the Tahitians they'd taken with them to read. So it's fascinating, you know. I find it amazing that the people are still there, and you know there's still direct descendants living there. But like I said, you know, if you're not interested in that side of it, then all you're going to find is an island in the middle of absolutely nowhere, really difficult to get to, and expense.
You know, the sexual assault cases of 2004, Mike Warren, the mayor, and you know, he was busted just a few years ago with thousands of images, etc.
I think I met him. Yeah, I think I met him. Yeah,
bit of an arrogant fellow. What was your vibe talking to him when you met him?
Yeah, I mean, I found him. Yeah, he was a bit of an alpha male, and I'm not. So he was one of those guys who was I don't know. He reminded me a bit of one of those Australian cricket players who are a bit kind of, you know. So to me, I think he didn't particularly find me like all that engaging, and vice versa. I mean, we didn't. I mean, he was all right. He was a bit of a man's man, and I just thought, well, yeah, I think if it's the guy I'm thinking of, I mean, I can't,
it's Mike Warren. He was the mayor of Pitcairn.
I can't quite remember. I think I know the guy. I mean, I didn't sort of dislike him particularly or anything, but we didn't. I remember he was very opinionated. That's what it was. He was very opinionated. I think he didn't like. So he and quite suspicious of me. So in that respect, it was kind of quite difficult to communicate with him in particular.
Well, he had hundreds and hundreds of videos of child bondage pornography on his computer.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, so
so the guy with the video camera that doesn't live on the island, yeah, he might be a bit suspicious of you.
Yeah. Well, he, and not only he. I mean, they were all quite reticent about talking to me because they didn't. So actually, one of the reasons why I don't have much footage of the islanders is that they didn't want to talk in case because they thought that I was just going to go back and sort of say, oh, here's that guy who did this, and here see this guy here, he's the one who was banged up with it, and so yeah, so because of that, they didn't talk to me that much, and yeah, that's probably why I was met with that kind of response from them. But they actually liked the film that I made because I didn't want to talk about that. I didn't want to go into those sorts of details in my film. It wasn't really what it was about. It wasn't the reason I went to the island. I mean, had I made a documentary about that sort of thing, yeah, I could have just concentrated on that alone, and it would have been an interesting documentary. But that wasn't really why I went there, and it felt a bit out of place in my one. It seems changing from the kind of humorous, funny sort of tack I had adopted. But yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, it was a bit unsettling that had all gone on. I mean, it was. I don't know. I think.
Well, was there anybody there that gave you? Was there anybody there that you particularly didn't like? Let's put it that way.
No,
without separate. You know, I'm not asking you to name anybody.
No, well, I can't name them anyway. I can't remember any of their names. I'm not even sure if I know who the mayor was. There's a guy there I think you're talking about, but he, in general, no, there wasn't anyone I didn't like. I mean, there were people that I just didn't, who I found didn't want to talk to me, and I was a bit resentful of that. But you know, given the situation, I suppose I can understand why. So they spoke to me as you would speak to someone if you didn't want them filming you, And I meet with that here sometimes, when I'm trying to film in public. Sometimes people are like, look, don't talk about no. Don't film me. No, you're gonna film me. Well, you're gonna put this on TV. They respond a bit like that. So some were a little bit like that, but other than that, none of them were kind of nasty or anything. They were actually. I was quite pleased because they let me burn the bounty on their little special celebration. Bounty
Yeah,
day.
that's the penultimate scene in Take Me to Pitcairn, the burning of the bounty.
Yes,
That's a beautiful cardboard box.
If you like.
Fewer than 219 people in history have ever lit the bounty on Bounty Day, and on the 220th anniversary, the honour's all mine. In the spring, by and by, we shall meet on the beautiful shore. In the spring, by and by. That was a real privilege. I'm so pleased. And they allowed me to burn it. It was really nice.
It was still honestly amazing. I mean, when I think that only 200 people have done it, because
that's cool.
They've only been doing it for 200 years, presumably.
I was watching this documentary, Redfern History. Have you seen that one? Redfern, the guy goes around to the different British overseas territories. Goes to Tristan da Cunha and he goes to Pitcairn and whatnot.
Well, I was annoyed. Yeah, I was annoyed about that because that was actually my idea. Except I didn't have the backing.
The backing.
That he obviously had.
But you're a much better presenter than that guy.
Well, that's what I think. And
who was the most popular guy that I can recall is Keith Floyd, who did the Keith Cooks,
Floyd on France,
Floyd on France, Floyd on Italy. All those.
I love Keith Floyd.
Right, that was basically a travel program, right?
Yeah. He was brilliant. He was a real natural and one of the first as well. And they show them occasionally here as well. And you watch them. He's just so natural and charismatic. I really like it.
Yeah, to the audience, you can see them all on YouTube.
I know it. Oh, I might watch a few of those.
Yeah, they're great, man. And so you have that kind of Keith Floyd style where it's fun. Anyway, I was watching this Redfern one, and he's interviewing this single mom and like a 10-year-old girl, and he asks the girl, this girl living on Pitcairn, how many people do you think live in the city of London? And she goes, 100, 200.
Well, how old was this girl?
Maybe 9, 10 years old. 10 years old, I'd say grade 5.
Yeah.
So it made me a little concerned.
I don't have kids, so.
Hey, you don't have kids? Well, they have a show here in North America. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? And by grade 5, kids are generally smarter than most adults.
They know how many people. They know there's a few thousand at least.
Yeah, they know there's more than 100 or 200.
Yeah.
So
because sometimes someone your age, you ask a 9-year-old how old they think you are, and they'll say, "Are you 100?" And they mean it. Must be the grey. But no, yeah. Oh, I see. Well, yeah. I suppose. I suppose.
So I'm a little concerned about these children, right? And obviously the sex problems. And so my question is: did you see anything that concerned you? Did you keep an eye out for it, knowing that you would have known this going there beforehand?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, when I got there was what they've got now is they have a policeman on the island. He goes and he spends 6 months there. He's from New Zealand, and so they have this policeman there who's there to sort of just check up on things and make sure it's all going according to plan. But the interesting thing is, they did have a prison over there. But I think they had to build the prison themselves, and then the people who were put into prison were required on the island to operate machinery and sort of water mills and electric generators and stuff. So anyone who was actually sentenced had to be a part-time convict. They were let out for a certain amount of the day so they could go and do all this stuff on the island. It's what I heard anyway. Yeah. I found quite interesting. And the weirdest thing is when they did do the trial. Well, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I mean, this is just what I can't remember if I read it or if I heard it, but the other interesting thing was that when they when they had the trials over there, that I just find it must have been a very strange sight, because they had to send British lawyers over and judges. So they had all these guys in black gowns and the lawyers' wigs and the judge's wig that they were wear in England, and they all got off the boat in the boiling heat. Wearing this weird kind of gowns and stuff to go do this trial. So that must have been very strange.
Dude, they must just hate that visual of the British courts. That just sends them right back to those mutineer roots. Oh, no, not these guys.
Yeah, not these guys again. I thought we got rid of them. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that must have been weird. But yeah, I mean, that side of it. I mean, I know. You're. I don't know if you were expecting me to launch into a tirade about them.
I'm not. What I'm asking is, you would have known information going in, right? So did you kind of keep an eye out for it?
Yeah, of course. I was keeping an eye out for anything weird. But everyone was pretty guarded over there, and there was this policeman there who, I spoke to the policeman, and he said, no, everything's going all right here. Everyone's sort of fairly well behaved now. So, it was a sad sort of state of affairs. I mean, it'd been going on for so long. It's hard to be able to, I don't know, get your head around it. No, I mean, I didn't notice anything particularly weird apart from, I mean, I think like you said, that the one thing that I did really notice was that the people were a bit overweight. I thought that was but I mean, maybe they don't get much exercise. They all go around the place on these big sort of buggies. Yeah,
you don't have to look good on Pitcairn. That's the point. You can let yourself go.
I guess not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but regarding the education of these young people on the island, I mean, I suppose that's why they often leave around that age of 9 or 10 and go to New Zealand and get a proper education.
Yeah, now that their brains are mush, let's go educate them.
What?
Hey, you want to hear something unbelievable? You won't like this. You know who Sean Christian is, right?
I'm guessing he's one of the Christian family from Fletcher.
He was the mayor.
Descended from Fletcher, but I don't know.
He was the mayor in the center of the 2004 sex scandal.
Oh, right. Okay. That's when it was, 2004. I didn't actually know that.
He's sort of the center of that. But anyway, Sean Christian, he was one of these men convicted back in 2004. And now Mike Warren, that we already talked about, he's actually just going through those trials now. And the judge has an advisor. This advisor helps him with the ruling of the case. Guess who the advisor is? That's right. Sean Christian is the advisor to the judge.
Christian, I don't. Really? I thought that the trials were all over with.
No, they're in New Zealand. This is the new one for Mike Warren.
Oh, they're carrying on, are they? I didn't know that.
And Sean Christian is actually advising the judge that's making the ruling about this guy who was the mayor. It's really weird.
Yeah, that does strike me as a little bit odd.
So let's talk about something else.
I mean, why not just get someone else?
Jules, you do these travel videos. You go around London. You show all these really cool little things like the ferryman's seat and these pubs where they do operettas. And tell us about Jules' travel guides.
Yeah. Well, Jules' guides are like mini 2-minute video guides. Currently about London. I mean, hoping to do more around the world, but they're designed not to give you masses of information. They're just quirky little bits, because people these days tend to have quite short concentration spans. And so you can just watch 1-2 minutes and go, the kind of response from people that I'm trying to elicit is this one. I want people to watch it and go, like that. That's about the level of humor. They're not hilarious, but they're aimed to be sort of charming and, a little bit funny, but no, not works of comic genius, but also to give you an idea of a Londoner's guide to London. You know, I'm from London. I want to show the things that I find interesting in this town that you might not necessarily have heard about. And so there's less sort of Westminster Abbey, St. Paul's Cathedral. There's more sort of the man who paints chewing gum on the ground, and funny little weird places where people got murdered and things like that. You know, they're good fun. And on the julesguides.com website, there is actually a map view, so you can look at the map and you can select a mini Jules, and then you can click onto it and a 2-minute video will pop up. But a lot of people have been saying they want them to be longer than 2 minutes. I thought that 2 minutes was good because kids these days tend to have a short concentration span. But yeah,
well, that's a good thing. I watched him and I want him to be longer too.
No one pays me for them, so you know, and in order to turn it into a longer, you know, piece, I have to do a lot more research and I have to do a lot more editing. So
you know,
I figure, you know, I'll keep it at that for now until someone's saying.
Jules, I've watched quite a few of them. I think they're really well done. Every time I watch one of these videos, I learn something, right?
Well,
and I live for that. I live for these little juicy factoids that, you know, frankly, I don't think you're going to learn these things anywhere else. You know.
Well, that's what they're for, really. I mean, I don't know why the bloody Mayor of London or visitlondon.com don't bloody pull their finger out and get in touch. But you know,
I think she
should. Actually the Londonists.
Sorry to cut you off. I was going to say I think he should be on the news, like have a little travel segment.
Yes, I do too. You know, I've been trying for years, but you know, I'm 43 now. As if they're gonna, their idea of new talent is just somebody who looks and sounds exactly like everybody else. They are fun to. It's fun to like learn a little thing like that. The idea is just that people sort of watch it, and you know, I can't tell them everything about it, and I don't know everything about it. But if someone has an interest in it, say for example the ferryman's seat, then having seen that video may, you know, first of all, when you're walking past it next time, you'll go, oh, that's where that thing is that Julian showed me. Secondly, you might actually decide to look into it further yourself and just you know, read up on it a bit, because you know, I can't possibly go into all that detail without, you know, making a proper film about it. And like I say, no one's paying me, so you know, it takes me a while. Although the Londonist, which is another website who do videos about London and stuff about London, they have started to show some of my videos actually. So got a little thing going with him now. So yeah, I'm getting some. Well, at least finally.
To the audience, I want you to watch these videos, but not only watch them, share them too. Okay, post them to your Twitter, your Facebook. You know, help Jules get a little bigger here. Right, the guy's got a lot of talent. I really like him. I'd like to see his videos get tens of thousands of hits each. So, you know, to the audience, help him out.
Russell, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. There's also a very interesting film about peddlers, how to be a peddler in London, in Britain. I mean,
well, you know,
and there's one about big silence.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's a great film too. You know, are you going to do another one?
I'm funnily enough, I've just been to Sicily, so and this was actually a commission from somebody. So someone has paid me to go to Sicily and film a load of stuff about a town in Sicily called Cefalù. And so yeah, I've just finished doing a film for him, and I'm gonna do a longer one as well. So yeah, your dream might come true. You might get a slightly longer Jules guide on Sicily, but so that would be a bit of fun. Planning to carry on, do a few more, maybe go over to the States. Where are you based? Vancouver?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada. You ever been to Canada?
No, I've been to Toronto, but I'd like to go to Vancouver. I was just saying the other day to someone I'd like to go there. So if I come over, I'll have to come and be on your show in person.
I live 2 blocks from the beach, from English Bay. You can Google that and the pictures, and it's just one of the most beautiful cities on earth. You're
nice.
welcome to crash on my couch. I'll only charge $80 a night. So
well, as long as you take New Zealand dollars, then we're in.
No,
but
no,
yeah,
I do prefer US dollars, actually, babe.
No, I'd be happy to come and visit, because I was just saying to, I've got a friend who lives in Olympia, which is in America, but that's quite close to not just south of the border, I think. And yeah, I got another friend in Vancouver. I know I'd like to go there. It looks really great, actually.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
So tell the audience one last time here, Jules.
There's
Thanks
every
so
chance
much.
I'll come out there. You can give us a hand with some guides.
There you go. Well, there you go. You heard it here, folks. Julian McDonnell may come to Vancouver, and that's when shit gets serious. Julian, tell the audience, once again, your websites, your Twitter, what do you got on the internet?
Well, I'd say, you should... hang on, I haven't gone...
Once again, we're here with Julian McDonnell, the star and director of Take Me to Pitcairn.
Yeah, that's Take Me to Pitcairn. In case you... Take Me to Pitcairn. Don't forget, you can watch the whole film at takemetopitcairn.com, actually. And if you want to watch any Jules guides, you can go to julesguides.com. Jules is spelled Joolz or Z. And check them out, like them, follow me on Bookface and twit.com or whatever it is, and all that funny stuff that the kids do these days. I much appreciate it. The more followers, the more serious people actually start to take me.
Share, like, and watch the Julian McDonnell stuff, julesguides.com, everything. Take Me to Pitcairn. Jules, thank you so much for being a guest on the program today. It's been great.
Thanks, Russell. It's been emotional.
Cheers, buddy.